Today, I'm going to talk about the difference between buying an investment property or buying a lifestyle property and renting it out. This is where everybody gets wrong so often. They get stuck on the emotional side of things. So I'm going to show you two of my properties that I've recently sold. Sorry, that I've previously sold, and we can discuss and compare. So let's have a look at this. So this is my first property, 2017 purchase at 315. Let's look at the photos, right? Look at that lovely flooring. Crazy. That kitchen, the bathrooms, just the whole the whole picture, right? Nothing fancy. Big backyard. Fence, definitely problematic fence. Flooring disgusting, right? Nothing fancy whatsoever. And I bought it for 315 plus costs. I'm probably in at what, 330? Let's just call it 330. 330 in. I sold it 5 years later for a great uplift, right? I just recently saw these pictures. They put some new coat of paint on. Um, I put down some flooring and they've put down new flooring because my flooring was disgusting. I did this kitchen. I think the carpet's all the same, but I actually can't remember. The bathroom's all the same except there's new tiling down that I put down. And everything else kind of looks the same. But this is probably the picture that matters. This is the location of it. This is how close it is to the beach. This is in Phillip Island. It's right near the beach. Then if I look at this property and go, would I ever live in this property? And if you go back to the original photos that I showed you when I originally purchased the property, and the pictures were pretty bad, right? Um, you can see kind of see where I put down these floorboards. Something went wrong with these ones. They're really bad and they just kind of got stuffed up. But anyway, the point is, would I live in this property? No. And always from the start, I would never live in this property because it's not a lifestyle property. It was purely for investment purposes. And the whole point was really actually the whole point of this property and owning it was to hold it for a certain amount of years. Remember, this is what it looked like, right? So this is when I bought it. Hold it for a certain amount of years, bulldoze it because the house is worth nothing and the land's the thing that's worth, at that time, the land was the thing that's worth money. Look at the size of the block, just under 600 square meters. Good block size, right near the beach. But again, the physical house itself worth like what, 30 grand, maybe 40 grand, and the land was worth the balance as far as I'm concerned. So close to the beach, happy days. That to me, I define as an investment property, but one that's geared towards the capital growth side. But it's not something that I want to live in. You can see the renovations that I did were very, very minor, and I spent the least amount of money as possible on renovations. I put in this new kitchen, put in the new flooring, which was better than the lino, but the flooring didn't work out. I painted, everything was painted, um, and I put in a new flooring in the bathroom. But that was it, right? So that's one example of an investment property. I sold it, made a lot of money. Great, happy days. Next example is something that I lived in. So I lived at this street. Um, I lived in this townhouse. Probably still. I mean, I didn't do too much to it. The flooring was really nice. I like the flooring. I mean, we put in the blinds, electric blinds. Put in fake grass outside. Put in the wardrobes. I did the wardrobes. Oh, I did the bathrooms. I renovated the whole bathrooms. And I put in the backyard, painted the walls and put in the fake grass, right? So I did a little bit of work, but if you look here, I bought it 2018. So I paid 3 times more than the investment property, right? 3 times more than the investment property because it's where I wanted to live. So 3 times more than investment property. I sold it. And when you take out stamp duty and how much money I spent in renovations, I broke even, if anything. And I held on to it for 5 years, right? For 5 freaking years. And I barely made any money whatsoever. Um, I had to make the steps look nice. I just see if we have a picture of the bathrooms. I can't even remember what they look like. So the bathrooms, you know, good, no, neither good or bad. Problem is that the bathrooms of the builder didn't decide to waterproof anything, and there was a massive waterproof problem in both of the bathrooms. That's why we had to do the works. But this was a lifestyle property, so I lived in it. It was great to live in. It's right near Chapel Street. There's all these positive reasons to live there. Right here, right near Chapel Street, right near the Albert right near the park, Elmore Road Park. Um, and it was great. It was great to live in, as I said, but terrible investment property. So not all properties are equal. Not all properties, not all properties are equal. Not all properties are designed to make money. Sometimes there's capital growth properties that are going to go really, really well. And other times they're not. If you look back at my mistake of that townhouse and great location, but look at the square meterage, 108. So the townhouse probably decreases slightly in value each year because of depreciation, and I do some renovations to keep it fresh and stuff. But there's such a small amount of land, and land's the thing that went up. So if you go back to here, land's the thing that increased the price by $100,000 over 5 years because my land is so freaking tiny. Whereas if you look back at the Sunderland Bay's property, my land was just under 600 square meters, and it's the reason why the value of that property went from 315 up to 685. Right. So not all properties are equal. The house next door doesn't mean it's a great investment property. Just because you rent out a property doesn't mean it's a quality investment property. You've got to look, you got to understand, and sometimes you either go after high income producing property, which is getting you an 8% net, 8% rental yield plus, or you're going after high capital growth property, like I did in Phillip Island. you know, the house next to yours might be a great area to live in, doesn't mean it's going to go up in value. The townhouse, the apartment, you know, they're all emotional reasons to buy things. Like my emotional reason to buy that townhouse, wanted to live in it, looked nice, really nice to look in, but didn't make any money from it. So again, when we're buying investments, we've got to use our analytical brain, not our emotional one. If you're making emotional using emotional reasons to make investment decisions, then don't complain later when the outcome you get is shit. I'm Gary Brown. Keep investing and take control of your financial future.